Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to our 2-week Winning with People series. And I'm so excited about this series. It's something different, something fun. It is December 15th. We are 10 days away from Christmas. Take a deep breath. And if that doesn't help, go watch Angela's reel about being 10 days away from Christmas and you'll feel much better. I know it helped me. I mean, it was hilarious. I almost wet my pants, but that's another story. Tis the season where we are getting together with people, their Christmas parties, you get together with family, which could be a blessing or an opportunity for character growth, right? Oh, hold on, let me mute everybody. Okay. And our business, so we're dealing with people all the time, right? And in our business, we're dealing with people all the time. We are literally in a business where our job description is to love and serve people. And the more people that we help, the more our business will grow. And it was funny because we were having a conversation at dinner tonight with one of our daughters who is very academic, very studious, and she's the kind that if she gets a 93 and she knows she could have gotten a 97, that's not good enough. So she's always wanting to get to the top. And guess who, Emily? Guess who I'm talking about? And we said to her, but you know what, sweetheart, I'm so much more concerned with your spiritual development, your character, and your emotional intelligence than your academic intelligence. Now, that's not to say I'm not concerned with academics, but emotional intelligence, AKA how you deal with people, how you deal with your thoughts, how you deal with emotions is the single biggest predictor of your success in life. Did you know that? And so people skills are so important, and yet we don't study them in school, right? And our whole industry is about people, loving and serving people. And so this is a skill we've got to develop. Not only for our business, but isn't that the business that Jesus himself is in? Go and make disciples, love others as you love yourself. That is who we are called to be. That is our job description. It is our calling. It is our destiny. And our purpose always involves other people. Always. Your purpose is never just about you, but it's about how you are to impact other people. So learning how to win with people, learning how to love and serve them is critical to not only your business growing, but to you fulfilling your calling that Jesus has for you. Okay. And when I called this winning with people, this isn't just about you winning and you getting a great paycheck. It's about how do you keep them at the center. And the best thing about that is in God's economy, when you keep others at the center and you focus on them, guess what? Your business grows. Oh, who's calling me now? You get more blessed because God loves a cheerful giver. And as you give, God gives back to you. So there's a couple books I want to give you as resources because this is just a short 2-week series. But if you want to develop people skills, there's a couple books I think you should read. Number one, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Excellent, excellent, excellent book. Okay. It's one of the foundations about people skills. And John Maxwell's the 15 indispensable laws of growth, because it helps focus you on other people. Okay. These two books, and I feel like there's another one, but it's totally escaping me right now about people skills. I'll put it in the chat later tonight, are critical to you moving forward with success and keeping others at the center. Okay. So I hope you guys had a chance to watch these videos. And the videos, the titles are kind of like, if you just think about the titles, they seem a little bit egocentric, but if you watch them, you realize it's not just about you. It's about when you become the most interesting person in the room, your focus truly is on the other person. The focus really is on you growing and adding value to yourself, so you have value to give to others. Becoming an influential person, becoming a successful person, when seen through the right lens, it's not about you. Again, it's about how you are loving and serving more people, because that's also how you're going to reach your goals. Okay, so we're going to have some fun. And through this, I hope you will use these skills. I hope that really spoke to you, and that you're going to use some of these skills and practice them at Christmas parties, at church, whenever you're meeting people this month. So we're going to give you, Angela and I have been talking, and we're going to give you a little bit of fun. We're going to do some role plays, and we're going to talk, go through a couple scenarios. And after each scenario, we're going to open it up. And I want to hear from you what we did right, what we did well, and according to Vanessa Van Edwards, what we could improve upon. Now, Vanessa Van Edwards is a New York Times bestselling author. Her think tank, her company, Science of People, is exploding. Several years ago, I think it was in 2018, she actually spoke at our Ruby retreat before she was, like 6 figures to come and speak. And she is fantastic. So I hope you will continue to watch some of her short YouTube videos, because they're really helpful. And I know that if we put these principles into practice, your business is going to grow, and you're going to make a lot more friends, and you're going to grow as a person, which is one of the most important fundamentals. So, Angela, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we're at a party. Imagine us. I don't have my Christmas hat. We walk into a party, Christmas music is playing, there's great hors d'oeuvres being passed, and here we go. Hey, Angela, I'm so glad to see you. How you doing?
I'm okay.
Oh, okay. Well, tell me what's going on. What did you do last weekend?
Same old thing. Just kind of watch Netflix, sat around.
Okay. What'd you watch on Netflix?
I don't know. It was some cooking show.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, did you do anything else? Did you read anything interesting, or go out, or do anything fun? Anything new?
No, just kind of, went to the grocery store, same place we always go. And I don't know. I can't really remember. It didn't do much.
All righty. Hey, what about Christmas? Are you guys doing anything fun for Christmas?
We're gonna open presents like we always do. Kind of the same old thing. Not really a whole lot.
Are you gonna have people over, or?
I don't know. We might have my mother-in-law come over, but yeah, we got to figure that out.
All right, friends. What'd you hear? What'd you see? According to Vanessa Van Edwards, what kind of conversation was that? Madison goes, boring. Okay, unmute. Tell me what you saw.
Oh gosh, that's
I'm better.
It was painful to watch.
What made it painful?
Angela was a conversation narcissist.
What's a conversation narcissist?
So she was so focused on herself, she never once asked you any question back whatsoever. It was all about her, the entire conversation, and boring her, like Madison said. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no elaboration.
Yes, very good.
What else? What else did
No.
you say?
Did you notice I didn't have much confidence in myself when I was talking? It was just kind of like this lowly, woe is me kind of a, well, at least I was trying to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What
I think she called that the lazy law. Like
Yes. What's
stupid
the lazy law?
stop doing stupid, uninteresting things.
When she said that in the video, I promise you, I almost wet my pants. Stop doing stupid, uninteresting things. I'm telling you, I feel
Well-
like my husband and I have this conversation a lot. Like, why are people not interesting? Like, why can't, but we have no interesting things to talk about. What else? Tell me more. What was so uninteresting?
She had like a really super flat affect. Like she just didn't have like any animation whatsoever.
Right. Right.
Yes, she didn't engage in conversation at all.
I want to go back to this thing lazy. What did she say? What is a lazy conversationalist? Because this is really a huge point.
Like people that just watch TV or talk about the weather, talk about want everyone else to talk. They don't want to do the talking.
Yeah, they just really didn't want to engage.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, she talked about it's the same restaurants, the same TV shows, the same Christmas, right? The same. There's nothing new.
Yes. And I love what she said about that. Nothing new, and they're not growing in any way. It's like complete ambivalence and apathy and complacency and where they are, status quo to the max. I don't think she used that particular phrase, but that was the implication, right? There's no growth. So they had no value to add. I mean, I thought that was so interesting. And yeah. And did you notice was interesting though? Anybody pick up on what I did at the very beginning?
You just
Well-
asked like, how are you instead of asking a pointed question.
Exactly. That's right. I kind of opened with the most boring opener. How are you? So, I mean, I don't know what she would have said if I said, tell me about your personal passion project, but that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Okay, let's do another one. You ready, Angela? I don't remember which one we're doing next. Are you asking me or am I asking you?
On Christmas Eve. And
I think we're gonna, well, I would be telling the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. Go ahead.
I mean, it was you asking, but.
Yes, that's right. I got it. Okay, you ready?
Mhm.
Hey, Angela, how are you?
Hey, I'm so good. How are you?
I am doing fantastically. Let me tell you about the fabulous day that I've had. I've had such a great day. I got so much done. I went shopping and got Christmas presents, and James is going to love what I got for him for Christmas. And, he really love it. I really hope he got me something good. And if he didn't, I think I'm just going to wrap myself a present and put it under the tree, because last year he totally missed the mark. And I don't know what he was thinking, because I told him clearly what I wanted, but I mean, I just don't get it. I don't understand the male species. So I'm just gonna have to take care of myself because I want to be happy on Christmas. So anyway, I decided I'm going to make a turkey on Christmas, and I love my kids Kai asked me to make a sweet potato marshmallow casserole for Christmas. I told her no, because I don't like marshmallows. So there's that. What are you doing for Christmas?
We have so many things planned, actually. We're gonna be going.
We have so many things planned too. I cannot believe how busy it is. I mean, I just can't believe how busy it is. I barely have time to shave my legs in the shower tomorrow because I've got so much going on, and I feel like I'm the busiest person on earth. So what are you busy with?
Oh my goodness, I have 5 boys and back from deployment. And so, yeah, it's a lot of going here and there. One of them's car broke down.
Girl,
But
well, at
tell
least
me
your son, at least you have a car. I've got to drive my girls all over. I can't even have a Friday night with my husband tomorrow because I've got to drive to Point Pleasant tomorrow night and then pick them up at 8:30. So my husband and I can't even take Kaya to the journey. So at least you should be thankful that they have a car because I'm the only chauffeur in the house. So there's that. At least I get to go out on a date with my husband on Saturday night. So they can stay home and I can finally go out. So what were you saying about what you have to do?
I don't remember.
Well, I have a lot to do on Saturday. Okay, do you get the point?
Unfortunately.
I felt so rude. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Okay,
word.
friends. Yes, Danielle, conversation narcissist. Let's hear what's a conversation narcissist?
Oh my goodness, it's all about you.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, and the question and then didn't even let me finish. So you jumped right into your answer. So you weren't really interested.
100%. 100%. Now, this is what a conversation narcissist looks like in a Plexus message. Hey, Tracy, how you doing? I wanted to share with you the supplements that I love, and they've done X, Y, and Z for me. It's helped me X, Y, Z, ABC, 1, 2, 3, watermelon, apple chair. And then, are you open to checking it out? Sure, open to checking it out. Well, this is what it's done for me. I'm making a 6-figure income. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. This is what it's done for me. Okay, well, maybe it will be a good fit for you. Going back and forth without ever asking what their goals are, what their health issues are, what they want help with. It's just been about me. Now, there's nothing wrong with sharing what it's done for you, as long as it's in the context of evidence for how it can help them reach their goals versus it always being about you. Do you see the difference? Does that make sense? So someone give me an example of a business message, like a Plexus message, that would not be conversational narcissism.
I like to include in there, like you said, instead of just what this has done for me, done for me, I tell them, well, now I can't think, but it was like, I make it more about, I was thinking about you. I know that I've seen this about you, that you show up and you love your family so well. And like, whether it's the business or you, I remember you mentioning, I just did this the other day. You were mentioning to me you had fibromyalgia. And I was really just thinking this could be such a blessing to you. Would you be open to taking a look at this and seeing how this is helping so many who struggled with what you're struggling with and how it could possibly be a blessing or something like that?
100%. 100%. One of the things, this is a good segue. Do you remember when she was talking about like conversation prompts and questions? What's the goal of conversation and becoming interesting? Do you remember what the goal of how did she phrase it? She phrased it, I'm looking for it in my notes. You are trying to get them to tell you what? What's the goal?
Their story.
Their story. 100%. And once you know their story, then you can provide a solution, right? Their story. So what were some of the ways that what were some of the prompts and questions that we can use to elicit people's story? you remember any of the questions that she had?
Like what movie most changed their life? Did you make a New Year's resolution and did you accomplish it? What's one thing on your bucket list? Those were a couple that I wrote down.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Who else remembers some of her interesting questions?
There was another one. She asked people about the interesting things they are consuming. And I actually did that with a Facebook friend today. She's read over 45 books this year.
Wow.
And so I asked her, what book did she read that most surprised her this year?
That's a great question, Tracy. Did she answer?
She did, actually. She said she reads a lot of mysteries and thrillers, and so she gave me one of the ones that really surprised her, the title of the one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that statement, what you consume makes up who you are, that hit me like a ton of bricks. What you consume makes up who you are. The other, Madison, yes, something about passion. One of her questions was, what is your personal passion project? What personal passion project are you working on now? So what happens when we ask these interesting questions, what you're saying to somebody is, I really care about you. Like, I really want to know about you, instead of these perfunctory, how are you? Or, what do you do? That's almost like the duty question. But when you're asking somebody a question like, what movie really changed your life? Or what was the weirdest thing you ate? Or tell me what's on your bucket list? You're showing that you really are interested. You want to get to know them. You want to know what makes them tick. You want to know the real person. And that shows that you care. Because the ultimate, one of the things that we aim for is, because when people know us, like us, and trust us, they will join us. And they will like us when they know that we are interested in them. Does that make sense? So these are tremendous, tremendous questions to get to the heart of somebody, right? And regardless, I mean, Brittany, you would say this all the time. And Eva said this on Monday night. Do you remember this? She said, I had a goal. I have a goal to talk to 2 new people every single day. And sometimes I don't even bring up Plexus, but I want to talk to 2 new people because I'm making new friends and building new contacts. And if your goal is truly to connect with people in a meaningful way, that's going to speak volumes of who you are and build in the know, like, and trust factor from the beginning. Thoughts, comments? What do y'all think about all that?
Yeah, that's so good. I was thinking the question, what's the favorite part? What's your favorite part of your job? That would be something across the board you could probably ask, and kind of get to know somebody even just with that one question.
Yes. Yes. And that is something that you can very easily do, not only at Christmas parties, but in messaging when you're talking to people and building rapport. Oh, you're a teacher, or, oh, you work at a doctor's office. What's your favorite part of your job? What made you go into that from the beginning? You care. You want to hear their story. I love that. What books have you read? What's the most exciting thing that happened to you today? What was the best trip you took this year? What are you most looking forward to next year? those questions will catapult you and help you, because look, what we're looking for are leaders, right? We're looking for quality people. Those questions will speak to the hearts of quality people. It will make you stand out above everybody else, because most people are at home watching Netflix and talking about Netflix, right? So if you want to become interesting and stand out and reach those people that we really want to attract, guess what? You don't just find them, you cultivate and you develop them through this. On the first video, the third step that she talked about, which I thought was so interesting. Do you remember this concept? Gush, not gossip. Someone tell me what gush, not gossip is.
Yeah, so she was saying it's where you, with all integrity and meaningfulness, you say what you really like about somebody, like when you're introducing them or something like that. Because when you say something with gossip, it actually, the person remembers that and kind of makes them think about you too. It like sticks to you too. So if you say, well, this person, you know, is really rude and angry all the time, then those two traits kind of stick to you too when the person you're talking to remembers you. Even if they don't know the person that you're talking about, it's still so yeah. So always be saying something truthful, you know, not saying it and not really meaning it. Yeah, because people will know that, but yeah, genuine. Be genuine.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And Danielle, you're right. I was doing it in my conversation with Angela. I was bad mouthing everybody that I was talking about, and it made me look like, what do we say in our house? Made them look like a pootie. That's what the girls and I say. Kai says, and they were acting like a pootie. Exactly. So how does this pan out? This is, okay, here's a really practical way you can do this. Okay, very practical way. When you initiate a three-way call, okay, and you are introducing your sponsor, instead of just saying, this is my friend Tracy, you say, this is my amazing friend, Tracy. She works full-time in property management. She's so high caliber. She's excellent in everything she does. Her testimony is incredible. You're really going to love her. She's become one of my dearest friends. And she's one of these people that everyone flocks to her because she's such a person of character. You build up the person that you're talking that's going to do the call for several reasons. You want the person to trust them. Like, hear the difference between that and versus, here's my friend Tracy. Okay, all right, big deal. Who's Tracy? But you've also set yourself up with the gush factor because they're going to associate those qualities to you. So this is something that we can practice in our everyday life, right? Not only in three-way chats, but when you go to church, when you're introducing people, with your children, try it with your children. Gush about your children to people in front of, well, they may get embarrassed. My girls get embarrassed. But this is such an important quality. Even when you're posting about someone else's, like we all post about Krista Deary, right? Well, this is my amazing friend, Krista. She is a Jesus-loving, high caliber, excellent woman. Her heart is a heart of gold for Jesus. All of a sudden, you have a halo on you too. This is not manipulative. This is being shrewd. And remember, Jesus said, be wise as a serpent and innocent as a dove. So, and listen, we're just learning how to speak life. We're taking what Jesus said to do, and we are putting it into practice and systematizing it. So gush, spontaneous trait transference. And be careful about the way that you speak, because the negative will be attributed to you too. This is one of the reasons why we have a 0 negative tolerance on our team for negative talk, 0 tolerance for negativity. Because not only will it affect the whole team, but it will also affect you. Okay, so do you remember what she was talking about in terms of fear? Like, oh my gosh, I don't have anything to say. Oh my goodness, I'm afraid of what if I say the wrong thing? Or what if I'm not interesting? What did she say fear causes? Or how does fear affect us in conversations?
It causes us to be the uninteresting person. I mean, it causes us to hold back. And because I saw a lot of that, like when she was saying that, just where like I've been, and I still somewhat can be like that, but I know I've come a long way, but I was like, ooh, I've been the non-interesting person a lot in the past, but thank God we can grow.
Yes, amen, Kelly. I love that. That's right. Because what does fear do? Fear, where does fear place the focus? On ourselves instead of the other person, because you're thinking too much about you, ourselves, instead of trying to uncover the other person's story. Oh, bless. Okay, do you remember some of the ways she said that we can make ourselves more interesting? What were some of the ways that we can make ourselves more interesting? How do we add value to ourselves?
To be relatable rather than being perfect all the time. And I love the example she gave about the person selling the blender and then the girl that spilled the smoothie everywhere. Like everyone rated her higher and thought she was like so much better than the one that had like the perfect presentation.
Mhm. I love that. Just showing who you really are, not always using a filter, doing a live without makeup, just being you. And not
Talking with
that's right. Talking with your hands, not just hands, but open hands. That's right. I love
Eye
it.
contact,
Yes.
deep gazing,
but not too creepy.
That's
and
right.
don't
That's right. I love it. So what are some things that we can do practically to she said, level up your life? Like what can we do as just individuals to make ourselves more interesting and have interesting things to talk about?
Just doing personal development can help you be a better conversationalist with other people. I mean, I'm a nurse, so I'm literally talking to people all the time. And just to be learning more about relating to other people. Sometimes I feel like I can get like somebody's life story within 5 minutes because I ask lots and lots of questions, and that makes people and then if you can be vulnerable about yourself, that makes you more relatable to people too.
Yes. Love all of that, Marlene. Remember what else? Some of the things like Madison said, get out of your norm. Yes, do new things. Like watch a movie that you wouldn't typically watch, go to a restaurant you wouldn't typically go to, learn a new skill, do something on your bucket list. All of those things are so, so, so good. Just stretching, right? Stretching for new perspectives. I love that. Go to the library, ask for an interesting book, which was so great. Read books that stimulate fascinating conversations, just like Marlene said. One of the things I loved that she said, in conversation, we want to know how people think, what they think, what intrigues them, and what they've been learning. Now, can you fathom what kind of rich conversations you would have by asking some of those questions and by uncovering those things? How much more just a depth of conversation, you're really getting to know the fabric of somebody's character. She said, we are becoming detectives, right? Interesting detectives, which I thought was such a great way to put it, because we do talk about that. Like, as we are talking to people, we want to uncover their need or realize, or even their strengths, to see how what we have is a fit for them and can be the go-between, the platform for their passion and their dreams to come to pass. Which requires great conversation and great questions. So let's, in the last, we're not going to go all the way till 10 tonight, but I want to ask you, how are some really practical ways that we can put what we learned tonight into practice in Christmas parties and with our family, and then also with our business?
Well, I know for me, I could definitely, like at different parties or whatever, think about, like you're saying, questions, and go up to somebody that I wouldn't normally go up to, because I'm more of an introvert, which, probably already know, but so making myself get out of that comfort zone, go ask questions, stretch myself. And that I really believe when we start doing that, it's going to come out in other things like three-way calls. And it's, when we jump on the phone to sign somebody up, we're going to be, thinking about the different questions and really practicing, honestly, thinking of others more than we think of ourselves, is very biblical.
I love that, Deborah.
This entire video reminded me the whole time about how people remember how you make them feel.
Yeah.
And so when you come into a situation with fear or negativity, whether you're talking about yourself or someone else, they attach to that feeling before they attach to whatever it is you're saying. And so when you approach someone and you're being negative about someone else, they immediately attach how that feels to you. And so when we enter any conversation, any room, it's all about thinking about, how can I make this person feel valuable and noticed and seen? And you can do that even by talking positively about someone else, because they just see you value people.
I love that, Lox. 100%. Yes. Yes. All of that.
I think for me, one of the things, when I have been using basically the guide that you gave us for recruiting, but with a personal touch, and just starting conversations for the sake of conversation. And it requires a lot of intentionality, but going to people's Facebook wall and analyzing, first of all, are these my people?
Mm-hmm.
And then finding a common connection point, like, hey, I noticed you're reading XYZ, or I noticed you posted this podcast on this certain topic. And then asking, can you tell me more? Or what piqued your interest in this? Or I see that you have this business. What was the thought behind launching this business? And people love to share those things. And I have gotten into some really interesting conversations very quickly. Just by taking, 2 extra minutes to connect with something that they're personally doing or involved in.
That's right. I love that, Leah. Yes.
Yeah, this actually, something similar to that kind of happened to me today. So we have a dog park close to where we live now. So if you're not a mom, take your dog to the dog park, because people at dog parks love to talk. So I have met so many people at the dog park. And so today I took August to the dog park, and there was this lady there with her dog, and she just said something. We just started talking about our dogs. And then she goes, I think I've seen you running by my place where I live. And I was like, really? And at first I was a little creeped out, but then I was like, okay, like, do you run? And then it like opened up this whole conversation about clean eating and Plexus. And she's like, I want your phone number. I'm going to do this and all this stuff. And it was just just us talking about our dog. Like you literally just have to talk about your dog.
That's hilarious. That's great, Marlene. Good. I love that.
Yes, Leah, that is how we met. And I actually told her about you. I was like, one of my very good friends that helped me with Plexus met me because I was running by her house.
Yep. Truth.
I have a funny question you can ask next time. Tell me your poodle passion project. Sorry.
That's right. I love it.
Just kidding.
Yes, people are very passionate about their dogs. I'll tell you that.
Mhm.
I think one thing, I think Leah mentioned this. I don't know if it was on a video or one of our calls, but to be looking out for people this season that are sad, that aren't, you know, they have had losses one way or the other. And so I have been, and so when I see it, of course, I don't make a comment on their wall because everybody can see it, but I'll go into their inbox, and it's people I know, not like I'm not some random person leaving this message, but I'll pray for them and just let them know that I'm thinking about them, and, you know, that I love them. And actually, since I've started really being just trying to look for that, I have seen it. It's amazing when you try to keep your eye out for that. So yeah, that's one thing.
That's good.
That's awesome, Deborah. I love that.
You'll be amazed too. I've done this many times over the years. If you just even ask, how can I pray for you? And even I made a wall post one time saying, tell me how I can pray for you. And I've done this before I was even in Plexus. It had nothing to do with anything, but just feeling like I was supposed to. And so many people messaged me or left comments, and I would go individually to almost all of them. And if they asked for prayer, and I would pray for them in a voice clip. And and that's where people really know your heart, but you are ministering to them. For one, you're ministering the love of Jesus, if nothing else. And hopefully that's our number one goal, you know? And then of course, God can establish relationships, and they will trust us, and they will come back if that's what's meant to happen. But even if it's just to love on them and to make them feel valued and be Christ to those people, it's worth it for that. But it's so many people need prayer.
That's right. It really is about how much value can we add, and you're not going to add something that you don't have yourself. So the first step, and this is biblical, right? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and then love others as you love yourself. So step number one is, are you consuming and consuming good things, Bible, word, worship, interesting things to make you interesting, so you have something to give, because you're never going to give. You can't give what you don't have. So number one, doing interesting things yourself, adding, setting your mind on the Spirit yourself, so that you have something to minister to. You've got something interesting to say. I mean, how great would it be if you say, so tell me, what was the most interesting movie you watched? And then they say, well, what was the most interesting movie you watched? And you say, The Avengers. I'm like, okay, not interesting, or, Rapunzel. What's the best restaurant, most interesting restaurant you've been to? McDonald's ain't going to cut it. They're not going to trust you. So be adding value, making yourself interesting, thinking about your own personal passion projects. And then you can be intentional about uncovering those things in other people. So it really is about, Brittany always says this. She says, you add value to yourself so you can add value to others. And inevitably, and she would say this, and I can attest to it, as I am learning something, inevitably it will come up with somebody on my team. They need to hear that too. Always. So what we do for us, it's not just for us, but it's for the overflow of who we come into contact with. And then people feel known, loved, and cared for. Any other comments, questions? I hope this has been fun and engaging and, just something fun to do over the holidays, but really profound as well. Because can you imagine, as you're sending out messages and you're connecting with somebody, really getting into some good conversations, and that should be the goal. Quality conversations. Your goal is not the join. The goal is great conversations, because you never know where that is going to lead, right? So, anyway, any final thoughts or things that stood out to you all? All righty. Well, we're going to have 1 or 2 more videos. I will post them tomorrow. And your homework for this week is to ask an interesting question to someone in person, and also to get use some interesting question prompts in your messages this week. And I want to hear some really good feedback next week. I want to hear how it went. And number 3, I want you to do something and consume something interesting, whether it's a movie, a food, a book, a podcast, something. Do something to add interesting value to yourself. Okay, so 1 is interesting question in person. And we're going to share these next week. Good questions in your messages, and do something out of your norm, consume something interesting in your own personal life. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. All right, everybody. I had fun. I hope you guys had fun with this, and I can't wait to hear how you put this into practice this week. Was someone saying something?
My grandson wanted to say hi.
Hey, buddy.
Say hi. This will make you. That'll make you smile.
That's right. Hi. Well, thanks, everybody. Thanks for your time, and we'll see y'all next week. Good night.